Hi guys, welcome back to Movie Chat More. And if you're here for the very first time, welcome. Yeah, just a quick pop in tonight, maybe an hour or so, depending on how many people show up. Uh, uh, yeah, tonight we're talking Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, the big three. And it's also, as you've seen in the title, AMA, Ask Me Anything. To a certain extent, I always say that. Ask me anything to a certain extent. Because we all, I think, have I think we all have maybe little things we don't want to talk about live on air or on air. So, but it is an AMA. It's a Q&A also. It's a Q&A if you want to talk about, if you want to ask me questions about Halloween or Friday the 13th. When it comes to Chucky, when it comes to Friday, excuse me, when it comes to Freddy, and I like Freddy. I'm a big fan of the original movie. I'll, number two is hit and miss for me. When it comes to I love Dream Warriors. After that, apart from Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I'm kind of out of the loop. I mean, I know what goes on, but you know. Rex Brown, did you, hey, someone chop down the Osprey nest with a chainsaw? I like a Star Wars Empire Strikes Back t-shirt. I'm not sure what you mean by the first one, Rex, but I appreciate the comment. Rex, yep, this here in the UK, it is officially May the 4th. May the 4th. May the force be with you. So yeah, I thought it was pretty appropriate to throw this on for this impromptu live stream. And cheers. Thank you, Rex. Just making sure everything is connected up right here. Should be okay for the moment. You never know with the internet. You never know with YouTube what's going to happen next. It's all part of the fun. Hey, I see I got a thumbs up. I've thank you. I have noticed since I did a very short video about thumbs up, thumbs down, and how thumbs down are just as effective and get attention with the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. I have noticed since I've made that video, the thumbs down don't seem to be coming quite as thick and fast, which is a shame. You know, if you don't like me or you don't like my videos, or please give me the thumbs down. Or they all get attention to my channel, so I miss them. But on the other hand, if you're learning that I'm not such a bad guy, and you want to retract your thumbs down, that's great too. I'm not saying I'm the greatest guy in the world, far from it. But yeah, this is very live. Rex, if you're still watching, I think you are. Yeah, it doesn't have to be about movies. The main reason, well, not the main reason, but a reason I entitled the video Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and not just AMA, is because I'm hoping that we get some new people into the chat, and that title will attract new people into the chat room. More subscribers, the better. Rex Brown, Friday the 13th 5 has always been my favorite. Wow, you don't hear that very often. I love Friday the 13th 5. I really do. So, even though others don't like it, I don't let that change my opinion. Good. Rex, that is just the kind of shit I want to hear. Why should it? You love Friday the 13th Part 5? I love Friday. I mean, yeah, I love Friday the 13th Part 5. I do too. And I couldn't give a flying fuck what anyone says about Friday 5. I love the movie. You know, it's always been one of your favorites. It's always been one of my favorites. I mean, at the moment, Rex, Rex Brown. I'm not too sure. I think you do. Yeah, yeah, I think you do. You know, I'm doing the Halloween series. And then after the Halloween series is done and dusted, I'm going to go back over the Halloween series. But we'll see how many more subscribers we get in between now and then. Yeah, I will be doing Rob Zombie's Halloween too, unfortunately. But I have to do the whole series. Apart from 3, I'm not doing Halloween 3. It's not part of the franchise. It's not. But when I get to the end of my Halloween chats, then I'm going to be beginning from Halloween 1978. But I might have a gap and do Friday the 13th and then go back to Halloween. Or maybe go to Child's Play and Chucky and but yeah, don't let anybody change your opinion. Rex Brown. Oh, that's good to hear. Someone else loves it like me. That's awesome. Yeah, it is. I've always loved. You know, I like Friday the 13th, the original. I like number 2. I like 1, 2, 3. My favorite is part 4. I do have the. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. I think some of you may have. Give me a second. Give me a second. Is this the one? Nope. Give me a second, guys. I'll be there. Nope. Anyway, pardon me, there's a Friday the 13th t-shirt back there. And the artwork is from Friday 4, the final chapter. The final chapter. That's my favorite. But I'll tell you something. Aurora, what's up? Hey, welcome to the chat, Aurora. Always good to see you here. When it comes up talking Friday the 13th, Aurora, at the moment, but is AMA as well, so you can ask me anything within reason. But when it comes to Friday 5, when I was a kid, when I was like teenager, 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15 years old, maybe even a bit older than that, 16, 17, I was not a fan of Friday 1, 2, 3, or 4. I always said the Friday series, I know this sounds ridiculous now, but when I was a kid and a teenager, I always said the Friday series picks up when it gets to part 5. 5, 6, 7, and 8. But not anymore. I mean, now you get older and your opinions change and your attitude towards movies change, and are we still on air? Wait. Are we still on air? I think we are. Are we still on? I just want to make sure. Oh, okay, we're still here. Okay, thank you. Aurora, Rex Brown, yeah, and Aurora, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Rex Brown, I agree with you on Halloween 3, not part of the Maya storyline. Still okay on its own, but doesn't belong. Yeah, it's okay. It is. It's okay on its own. I haven't seen it in a very long time. But yeah, when I do my Halloween videos, that's not going to be part of it. Maybe at a later date, maybe somewhere down the line, if I'm still doing my videos, hopefully I will be. Um, then maybe one day Halloween 3 season of the witch will creep in there. Rex Brown. I always liked the storyline of part 6 with the sheriff and his daughter Megan. And the storyline. Yeah, I mean, you just mean like the relationship between Megan and Sheriff. Can't think of his name. Yeah, I like that. I like the way they bounce off each other, sort of thing. Hey, conspiracy trifecta. Welcome, conspiracy. Always welcome, as usual. And like I've always said, if you got conspiracy trifecta as a mod in your chat, in your YouTube channel, you're halfway there. Thank you so much for showing up, conspiracy, whether it's for the entire show or whether it's just for the next 2 or 3 minutes, you know? Thank you. And this isn't all about movies. It's not all about movies. It's an AMA, Q&A. If this was going to be about Halloween 6, I would have made the thumbnail more Halloween 6-ish. No. Garris, thank you so much. Rex Brown. Sheriff Garris. Megan Garris. How did I forget that? Yeah, part 6. Part 6 is still one of my favorites to this day. You know, I love part 6. Jason Lives. Brings back so many memories. And the soundtrack, the Alice Cooper soundtrack for part 6 is out of this world. And this is the one where Jason turns full-on zombie. So, but that doesn't bother me. They knew they had to do that. At that point in time, how do you bring back Jason? They had to do what they did. To a certain extent, they had to do what they did. Yeah, indeed he does, Rex. He dies a brutal death too, being bent right in half. Yeah, I believe. I'm not sure. I mean, I stand to be corrected, but I do think that has some issues. That scene with the sheriff being bent back in half. I do believe that scene had some issues getting past the censors. The music. What am I talking? The MPAA, Motion Picture Association of America. Yeah, now it's just called the MPA, I think. But yeah, I think they had some trouble getting that passed, but thank goodness they did. It's like Friday 7. I mean, Friday 7 went through. Whoa, I mean, the director of that movie, Joel Buka. I can never pronounce the guy's name. He's passed away now. May he rest in peace. But he always said, you know, they raped his movie. They always said you know, they raped my movie. The director of Part 7. but I have seen little bits and bobs with very, very bad picture quality and sound. Bits and bobs, every now and then, you see the original vision of John. Is it John Carbolka? Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I didn't like his vision. I didn't like it for Friday 7. I thought what the MPAA did, I think they made the right choices. This is just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree with me, you know. There you go. Conspiracy trifecta. Just about every kill had trouble with the MPAA, especially Part 7. I swear to you, conspiracy, when I started on my Part 7 rant, tell me the name of the director. Is it Bulka? Bulka? I know he passed away a few years ago. Yeah, especially Part 7. I swear to you, I did not read your comment when before I started chatting about Friday 7. But that's right, Part 7 it was. But I didn't like the vision. I have seen little bits and bobs, not a lot, because most of it isn't even out there. I mean, you know, the arsehole doctor in Part 7, that whole scene was supposed to be, I mean, now we see Jason kill that psychiatrist, and he kind of like some kind of barn furniture. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of saw, and the doctor just we see, and then the doctor dies. Okay, it could have been a bit more graphic than that. It could have been a bit more graphic than that. But what John Carbolka, I'm probably pronouncing that last name incorrectly. John Carr. Let's just call him John Carr from now on, shall we? Let's making sure plugged in so I don't lose you guys. Yep. Yeah, I didn't like John Carr's. I didn't like his vision, and I've seen bits and bobs. I'm sure you have too. All of you guys who are Friday fans, I'm sure you've seen. Apart from that one, because the Doctor was supposed to be ripped in half, absolutely sawed in half, with blood and guts everywhere. It's too much. Okay, it's a Friday the 13th movie, but it's too much. But it could have been a bit more gory than what it was. So I think the MPAA went over the top with that one. Yeah, Rex. Yeah, John Carr Bolker. Yeah, I'm just going to call him John Carr from now on. Not just John, because that may cause some confusion in the future. The director of Friday the 13th Part 7, John, that may cause some confusion. So John Carpenter directed this movie. Excuse me. No, I haven't got COVID. Rex Brown, I was happy when Jason killed Dr. Cruz. Yeah. Oh yeah, that son of a bitch had it coming. But I would have made a happy medium from the way John Carl actually wanted to. Actually, I think the scene was shot. It was, yeah. Dr. Cruz, the scene was shot, and the MPAA said, no, we're not having that. That movie was sent back quite a few times before it got, I think, an R rating. So, I mean, here in the UK, it's different. We rated R. That's restricted, yeah, in the USA and Canada, I believe. I think, but here we have that's the whole rated R is probably 18 You got to be 18 years old to go and watch the movie. That's probably what rated R is, or maybe rated R is a 15. You got to be 15 years old to watch the movie. That's a whole different conversation for a whole different time. Rex Brown, have you ever seen the movie Hatchet or Hatchet 2? John Carr plays the role of Jack Cracker. I've heard of Hatchet. I've heard of the Hatchet movies. I've never watched them. I have heard of Hatchet. And John Carr's actually in. Don't worry, guys. One day I will learn to pronounce that name correctly. But yeah, he's in the movie. There are some movies out there. I mean, I've tried some. I turn them off. I turn them off. It's like Jeepers Creepers 3. I mean, Jeepers Creepers is, I think, one of the Jeepers Creepers. I'm not going to get into you know what when it comes to the Jeepers Creepers movies. I'm not getting into that. This may be an AMA, but I'm not. Like I said, AMA within reason to the whole backstory. No. Jeepers Creepers is a brilliant horror movie. Jeepers Creepers 2 is pretty good. When it came to Jeepers Creepers 3, I turned it off. I turned it off after about maybe 20 minutes, half hour, 25 minutes. Piece of crap. In my opinion, Jeepers Creepers 3, piece of crap. Terrifier with Art the Clown. Is Art the Clown the one? Yeah, I think yeah. In Terrifier, I remember the young ladies in the diner or something, and the clown sitting there, and then everything got so gory so quickly, over the top, and I lost interest. I lost interest in Terrifier. Pardon me. Rex Brown, I think that's one of his only acting roles. Oh, you're talking about John Carr? Yeah, I never knew he was. It's funny because earlier on tonight, I was watching a movie called Thinner, based on the Stephen King novel. And Stephen King is in that movie. I mean, we know Stephen King makes cameo appearances in quite a few of his movies. You know, movies based upon his novels. And Thinner is he's in that. He's in that as a pharmacist. Conspiracy. Have you heard of the original plot for Freddy versus Jason? The one where Jason and Freddy were supposed to have a boxing match in hell. A boxing match in hell. No. Although I must admit, Rex, yeah, are you okay? Yeah, they did have a press conference though. I think it's on the DVD. They did have a press conference, which I found hilarious because Jason can't speak and Freddy can. So who's going to come out on top when it comes to the press conference? It's going to be Freddy. Jason can't do shit. Well, he can, but he can't say shit. A boxing match in hell. I'd love to see that. I think Jason would win that one. A boxing match, considering what he did to the young guy in Friday 8, Julius. I think Jason would be heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, have any of you guys seen Finna? Conspiracy, they had a weigh-in. Also, Michael Buffer introduced them. Sorry. Michael Buffer, let's get ready to rumble. Yeah. That must be on the DVD. I must have seen that. Not for a long time. But yeah, Trifecta, I must have seen that at some point. A weigh-in. Well, Jason is going to outweigh Freddy by 70 or 80 pounds. Easily, surely. Rex Brown, yeah, one punch and heads would roll. Yep. Friday the 13th, part 8. Conspiracy, I'm serious. Hitler was supposed to be in the front row, and I think it was going to be refereed by Jeffrey Dahmer or someone like that. Jeffrey Dahmer or someone like that. What about Ted Bundy? Ted Bundy could referee that match. I think Ted Bundy would do. Actually, Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy. I think I'll put Ted Bundy in charge of that match. I think he would be more impartial. I think Jeffrey Dahmer. I think Jeffrey Dahmer would probably. I don't know why I say this. It's just something up here, nestling away. I think Jeffrey Dahmer would probably side more towards Freddy than Jason. So I think Ted Bundy would be a better choice as a referee for that match. So yeah, I think he would side, Conspiracy Trifecta wouldn't go over well today. Maybe it was Ted Bundy. Conspiracy, maybe it was Ted Bundy. Yeah, he would be far more impartial. Rex Brown, Jeffrey Dahmer would be too busy trying to eat the fans in attendance. That's true too. He would be. Oh, Dahmer, he got the shit kicked out of him, literally beaten to death in prison, didn't he? Good old Jeff. Conspiracy Trifecta, if they made it now, Charles Manson should be a commentator. Oh, hands down. Charles Manson. Oh, can you imagine Charles Manson? Can you imagine Charles Manson announcing that match? Oh, man. We'd be listening more to Charles Manson than we would be watching the movie. The fight. Rex Brown, yeah, someone killed him in prison. Yeah, I think he was beat. I don't think it was just one guy. I think it was quite. I think he was beaten the shit out of by maybe. I could be wrong though. It may have been one bloke. Very UK. Yeah, one bloke means a guy. One guy, one man. It could have been. I always thought it was more though. I thought he was attacked by a gang in prison when it comes to Dahmer. Conspiracy, are you looking forward to the soon-to-be confirmed match between AJ and Fury? Supposed to be the biggest UK bout of all time. Yeah, okay. Yes, I am. It's not confirmed, like you say, to be confirmed. I am looking forward to it. I'll be cheering on AJ. I don't like Tyson Fury. I think the guy is weird. I think the guy is a bit of a prick. Would I say that to his face? Probably not. But I'm no big AJ fan either. My favorite at the moment is Deontay Wilder. That's my favorite boxer at the moment in that weight class. It's Deontay Wilder. So I would much rather see Wilder walk away with all the gold than either of those two guys. And that may sound strange coming from a guy from the UK. But yeah, my favorite boxer in that weight class is Deontay Wilder. But that conspiracy, when you say supposed to be the biggest UK bout of all time, it could be. But how many times have we heard that before? The biggest of all time here, the biggest of all time there. You know, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3, 1987, the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time. Yeah, happens every year. So is it going to be the biggest? Maybe, probably not. But I'd rather Deontay Wilder. I want to see AJ versus Fury, don't get me wrong. And I would be cheering on AJ because I can't stand Fury. But I'd like to see Deontay Wilder get back in there and beat both of them. Rex Brown, that would be an epic fight. But I'll believe it when it's actually confirmed. Yep. You gotta wait. I mean, especially now, what we're living in, what we're going through. Gotta wait for these things to be confirmed. But conspiracy, like you said, soon to be confirmed. I believe it when I see it. Conspiracy. I love Tyson Fury. We can't always agree. That's a good thing. I think we can't always agree. Deontay Wilder acts like more of a prick, LOL, and a literate one at that. Oh, I don't know anything about that. I'm not going into that. But Deontay, yeah, I like Deontay Wilder, but you don't, and that's your right. We can't all like the same guys and gals and music and movies and. Rex Brown, I just wish boxing didn't have like 46 heavyweight titles. Couldn't agree more. These championships, sometimes, I mean, I call most boxing championships these days paper championships because they don't mean much anymore. They're making up new championships all the time to make money. That's all they're doing it for. Oh, this is a title match. This is for the Intercontinental light cruiserweight, out of bounds, something or other, WBC. So many of these championships mean nothing anymore. So yeah, Rex, I totally agree with you on that one. There's too many championships, and so many of these championships are paper championships. They don't mean anything anymore. I mean, I was fine when we had the heavyweight. We're talking about heavyweight, yeah. When we had the WBA, WBC, the IBF, which was always, you're not quite as good as WBC or WBA. And those were the three. And the WBO, I think. So yeah, WBC, WBA, WBO, and the IBF. But now all these other championships are. Maybe it's. I could be wrong. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe when it comes to the heavyweight championship, it's still those four. But I doubt it. But I'm not just talking. I mean, now I'm not just talking about heavyweight boxing. I'm talking about all championships in boxing. There's so many paper champions out there. It doesn't mean anything anymore, to a certain extent. So yeah, I agree. Got some catching up to do. Conspiracy Mayweather versus McGregor. I paid for that fight. Was advertised to be the biggest fight, and no other fight has beat its pay-per-view sales. Well, there you go. Like I just said, I paid for it. Here in the UK, I think that was £20. £20, I think, in the UK. Could have been 25. I'm not too sure. Conspiracy. I mean, he blamed his he blamed his ass beating he got from Fury on his costume he walked to the ring in. Yeah, I remember that. I do. Yeah, said it was too heavy or something. Yeah. Let's just see. Conspiracy. I think you're thinking of WWE. There's only 4 belts that matter in boxing. IBF. Well, but IBF, IBO, WBA, WBC, WBA, WBC, IBO. I forgot about. IBF. That's kind of like we give you this championship because you're not as good. You're not good enough to take on the WBA or WBC champion. Yeah. IBO. I totally forgot about. IBF. I knew. Well, so maybe, yeah, like I said, yeah, like I say, I stand to be corrected. So if you're talking about the conspiracy, if you're talking about the heavyweight division, is still those 4. It's still 3 too many. And correct me if I'm wrong again. Wasn't at one point, especially in America and maybe across the world, whoever had the WBA championship was considered the real world champion. The WBA. I think at one point it was. It could still be. Yeah, going back to what you said about, yeah, he blamed the costume he came to the ring in. Yeah, that was lame. I must admit, I liked Deontay Wilder, but yeah, blaming that costume and the weight of that costume, don't wear it. If you want to come to the ring looking like a WWE wrestler, that's your prerogative. But don't blame the costume or the weight of the costume, and say you were tired by the time you got to the ring. I agree with that one, Conspiracy. Rex Brown. Oh no, wait. See, I missed one. Conspiracy. Did you get to go to the UK press conference? No, I didn't. No, never been to a press conference in my life. Rex Brown. Joe Calzaghe was one of my favorite UK fighters growing up. Never quite reached his potential. Joe Calzaghe. Yeah, great fighter. Great fighter. I think Calzaghe was the first person. No, wait. Let me get this right. I think Joe Calzaghe was Chris Eubank Sr. I think that was his last opponent, was Joe Calzaghe, because Chris Eubank he's always going to be one of my favorite boxers ever, Chris Eubank Sr. And he stepped up a weight. He lost a couple of times. He was undefeated for years, and then he stepped up a weight or two, took on Calzaghe, and Calzaghe won the fight and left Chris Eubank looking like his face. It was so sad to see Chris Eubank's face look like it had been for a fucking meat grinder. he went up too many weights. Chris Eubank went up too many weights. But yeah, he was a great fighter. I can't pinpoint any match. You know, oh, Kawasaki's best match was this, this, and this. I can't do that. Conspiracy trifecta. The WBC has always been a prestigious one. The green and gold one, WBC. See, I thought it was the WBA. I think when Evander Holyfield, won the WBA from Mike Tyson back in 1996. And I remember people saying at the time, well, the WBA is the one to have, but it could have been the WBC. I was 16 at the time, so long time ago. Rex Brown, yeah, that was a very poor and foolish excuse for losing a fight. Do you know, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to stick up for Deontay Wilder a little bit now, because, you know, the guy is a very talented boxer. And yes, he did make a foolish excuse. He did. It was a stupid thing to say. If I could go back and watch or read, I should say, read more of the post-fight comments that were made by both boxers, especially Wilder, I might have a different opinion. But yes, you are both right. Conspiracy, Rex Brown, it was lame to blame the the ring attire. He didn't have to do that. No one forced him to do that. Conspiracy, who were you expecting to win? Maymac. I should know what you're on about. I should know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about Mayweather and McGregor? If you're talking about Mayweather and McGregor, and I think you are, Conspiracy, I was expecting Mayweather to win. And thank God he did. He shut that mouth up just for a few seconds, didn't he? Rex Brown, yeah, back in 1997, Kawasaki 25 defeated 32-year-old Eubank. Yeah, Chris Eubank, 32. He was. I didn't know that. I didn't have a clue how old he was. I knew he was not in his like mid-20s anymore, but 32, and he stepped up, I think, 1 or maybe 2 weights and came out of the fight not looking good. Rex Brown, did Wilder lose to Fury twice, or was one a draw? I kind of remember one being a draw. Yeah, one. I think the first one was a draw. I think I stand to be corrected, but I think the first one was a draw, and the second fight, Fury won. Conspiracy, he's not a talented boxer at all. He's a very hard puncher, but he has no skill. Talking about Wilder here, yeah? He's had about 41 fights, and about 39 of them have been against minimal opposition. Agree to disagree? Conspiracy? Agree to disagree, my friend? I mean, here's the point. When it comes to, 41 fights, 39 of them have been against minimal opposition. The thing is, When it comes to, let's talk about, only briefly, Tommy Morrison, yeah? Tommy Gunn from Rocky V. Tommy Morrison, he went throughout his career losing, he had about 45 fights, maybe 50 fights, and Tommy Morrison only lost about 3 or 4 fights in his entire career. So, what I'm saying, Tommy Morrison was never world heavyweight champion, as far as I know. So, what I get from that is every time Tommy Morrison took on somebody who could actually fight back, he got knocked on his ass. So when you say conspiracy, when you say about Deontay Wilder, you know, he's not a talented boxer. Maybe I went off on a tangent there. I'm not sure, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, we could say, I mean, Tommy Morrison, 40+ fights, and he only lost 3 of them. He must be one of the greatest ever. No, he's not. He took on, like you say, conspiracy. He took on guys that couldn't fight back, and those 3 or 4 times he lost, he took on guys that could fight back. But I can't. Thank you, conspiracy. I didn't even read it. I can imagine what it was. Well, actually, no, I can't. I don't want to. But thank you, conspiracy, for doing what you just did. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit. Maybe I'm a little bit backwards in coming forwards with what I'm trying to say. I mean, with Deontay Wilder, 41 fights, 39 of them, but I think Deontay Wilder is very talented. I think Morrison was never world champion. Deontay Wilder was. But I do believe, and I could make an entire video about this, live or pre-recorded. I could make an entire video about this. If you if you go back and you watch Tommy Morrison fights, and you watch Deontay Wilder fights, and you watch AJ fights and Tyson Fury, and then go back a bit more, you'll see good fights, but you won't see the likes of Mike Tyson. You won't see Amanda Holyfield. You won't see, going back a bit further, you won't see the likes of well, no, I mean, even during that time, we had like Roy Jones Jr. You know, we will never, in my opinion, get those kind of boxers back. If you go back, I mean, I've done it myself. I've watched them on YouTube. I'm not gonna. I mean, Muhammad Ali, yeah, the greatest of all time, without a doubt. But Joe Frazier, George Foreman, there's so many that they're different weight class, different, obviously. Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, those Roberto Duran. These are those are the guys. They're the foundation of boxing, in my humble opinion. The guys we see nowadays, even Deontay Wilder, which I've made quite clear I'm a fan of, he's not in the same league as a heyday Joe Frazier. Can you imagine Deontay Wilder versus Joe Frazier? Can you imagine Deontay Wilder 3-4 years ago versus Joe Frazier in the mid-70s? Can you imagine what Joe Frazier would do to Wilder? Now, you may disagree. You may think Deontay Wilder would stand a chance against Joe Frazier. Not for me. Not for me. I think I missed a comment. Scroll back up. Excuse me. Rex Brown, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. is the one fight I've been longing to see before it's too late. I've got to be honest with you here, Rex. I've got to be honest. I haven't heard of either of those guys. They're probably at the top of their game in a certain weight division, and they're probably both brilliant fighters. But I just haven't heard of them. It's just me. You know, I'm not saying they're not great. I just haven't. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. Yeah, I don't know him. But hopefully they get it together one day, and it'd be a great fight. Conspiracy. I'll let you decide his fate, but that's obviously a troll. Oh, what? Phil Bill? Yeah, he's been here before. But thank you, Conspiracy, for doing what you did. You took the initiative. You saw it. You came, you saw, you kicked its ass. We'll see. We'll see. Thanks again. I really appreciate that. He was talking normal, but I'm no fool. Then, like I said, yeah, I trust you, Conspiracy. Yep, I trust you, man. I just saw there Rex Brown Conspiracy. Knock that troll out. I didn't even see the comments, but I can imagine. I've seen him here before. Rex Brown. Many boxers nowadays like to fluff up their own record by defeating minimal opposition. Yeah. It's all politics. Like I said, I mean, maybe one day I'll do a video about boxing live, all boxing. It would be a long video. But yeah, I really want to pay full attention to your questions and your queries and your comments. It would take too long in at the moment. So I think I have to do a dedicated boxing video. Is that something you guys would enjoy? But yeah, Rex Brown, when you say many boxers nowadays like to fluff up their own record by defeating minimal opposition, I agree. But there's so much politics that goes into that, you wouldn't believe it. Or maybe you would. I mean, the politics in boxing for the last, 30, 35 years, there's always been politics in boxing. But Jesus, in the last 30, 35 years, it's been off the chart, you know? So that is a video within itself. That's not something I can really get into with an AMA. It's all politics, man. It's all politics. It's all. I mean, that's why, so many things don't happen, before that should happen before it's too late. I mean, Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. I mean, Lennox Lewis could box. Yep. Never going to take that away from Lennox. He was a good boxer. Very good. But Lewis was kind of boring. So when he took on Holyfield, way too late in the career of both boxers, especially Holyfield, because I believe he was older than Lewis. I think if that fight had happened maybe 10 years earlier, we would have had a different winner. I mean, Holyfield, yeah, my favorite boxer and the greatest of all time is Muhammad Ali. But, when it comes to my era and what I grew up watching, my favorite boxer was Evander Holyfield. He's my GOAT, you know. But no, I mean, Muhammad Ali, in my opinion, will always be the greatest of all time. Always. Uh, but I love Evander Holyfield, and I do believe if the Holyfield and Lewis fights had taken place 10 years previous, I think Holyfield would have kicked the shit out of Lewis. But, well, this is what I mean. This is why it's interesting, and I love these boxing chats. It's great stuff, guys. It's great stuff. But it's something that I think would have to be a dedicated video. So hopefully I'm answering your comments and your questions and you know, to the best of my ability. Hopefully I'm trying my best. But that has to be a dedicated video. Is that something you guys would like to see? Okay, scrolling back up. Oh, boxing. So I didn't realize boxing would be a red button issue at the moment, but conspiracy. Same for Wilder. There's 2 other people in the top 3, and he's lost to one of them. Pardon me. I do think he'd beat AJ though. Oh, I think he would. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Wilder fan. I'm not just saying it, you know, because that's what I want to see. But I think Wilder would beat AJ. I don't think it would be easy. I don't think Wilder would knock AJ out in round 2. But yeah, I think Wilder would beat AJ. Conspiracy. I think AJ is too big of a target and not as quick as Fury. AJ is too big of a target, not as quick as Fury. Oh, when it comes to Tyson Fury and AJ, again, I'm not just saying this because I don't like Fury. I'm saying this because I've seen both of the guys fight, as you have, guys. You know, I think AJ would. I'm not sure. AJ and Fury. I think styles make fights. Yeah, styles make fights. I'm not sure. I think Wilder would beat AJ. Styles make fights. I think Wilder would beat AJ. AJ and Fury. Not as quick as Fury. I'm not sure. Styles make. I know I keep saying it. Styles make fights. So yeah, I think Wilder would be AJ, and maybe AJ would probably beat Fury. Rex Brown, Sonny Liston. See, these are the guys I'm talking about. Sonny Liston. You know, Sonny Liston would make these heavyweights nowadays cry. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, the kind of guys I'm talking about. Sorry, guys, just trying to make. I don't want to miss anything. Conspiracy: Crawford versus Spence won't happen till they're in their late 30s. Mayweather versus Pacquiao was too successful. That's another fight I paid for, by the way. Was too successful, and they're trying to mimic that. Pacquiao, yeah, did pay for that. I paid for that fight. Was too successul, and they're trying to mimic that. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about Crawford and Spence, so I can't comment. But I respect your opinion. I can't comment on that. but I respect your opinion. I see Phil Bill is not back yet. Conspiracy, you know me. I will be here for it if I can. Oh, well, like the boxing chat? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it will be great if you were, and you too, Rex, and anybody else who wants to join that, if and when it happens, and you guys watching after the fact, feel free to join in, and we'll talk some boxing. But it will be a long video. We're talking 3, maybe 4 hours, because any kind of comment that comes in about boxing, boxers I know about, boxers I don't, it's like, I don't know. But when it comes to like your Tyson and Fury, Tyson and Fury, Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Ali, Liston, they're going to be very, very dedicated answers, Conspiracy, yeah, boxing really comes down to promoters versus promoters at the end of the day. These fighters want to fight each other, but it all goes back to the money. It all goes back to the money. It does. It does. These fights, they do. They take too long. Some fights take too long. Holyfield and Lewis took way too long. I mean, when it comes to Tyson and Lewis, well, Tyson was in prison for a bit. Was it 5 years? Was Tyson inside for 5 years? So that's different. Yeah. Rex Brown, as much as I love Mike Tyson, he wouldn't stand a chance in hell against Ali if both were in their prime. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more, Rex. Couldn't agree more. I think Muhammad Ali would have confused the hell out of Mike Tyson, and he would have done what he did against George Foreman. He would have waited and waited and waited and waited, and he would have let Tyson just punch himself out properly and then knock him on his ass or ass. Yeah, couldn't agree more, Rex. Ali would have beaten Tyson, both in their heyday. Mike Tyson, probably the best fighter of all time, but the best boxer of all time, it's got to be Muhammad. In my opinion, Muhammad Ali. Rex Brown, Foreman would have dominated Tyson, in my opinion. Good old George Foreman, back in his prime, would have dominated Tyson, in my opinion. That's a great point. That's a great point. I would love to. I mean, this video was going to be like an hour. We're an hour and 3. All depends on the questions, how many people show up. You guys have been great tonight, by the way. Thank you so much. But I'm still here. But that's I mean, I know it's not a question. That's your opinion, Rex. Yeah, Foreman would have dominated Tyson, in my opinion. I don't think so. Excuse me. I don't think so. I don't think Foreman in his prime would have dominated Tyson in his prime. It would have been interesting, though. It would have been a great fight. See, Tyson, I mean, George Foreman is taller than Mike Tyson. Tyson, it's the same with Holyfield. Yeah, I mean, Tyson always had problems against guys who are quite a bit taller than him. So if Foreman, I don't know how tall Foreman is, 6'3", something like that. And Tyson's what, 5'11", I think? 5'10", 5'11". That height advantage wouldn't have sat well with Mike Tyson, and Foreman may have beat him. He could have beat Mike Tyson. but I don't think he would have dominated Mike Tyson. Although George Foreman did dominate Joe Frazier. It's interesting, isn't it? It's really interesting. I'm really enjoying this boxing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. A dedicated boxing chat. Yeah, it's interesting because Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier. I think quite early on in the fight, did he not? Great stuff. Thanks, guys, for making this video what it's been. It's mostly boxing, and it's great. But I will have to do a dedicated video to this, and it will be a long video. Hopefully, as long as you guys show up and you're free and you're not busy and you want to tune in. Looking forward to that. Don't want to miss you guys' comments, so I'm just being very careful. Conspiracy. I'm so confident in Fury beating AJ. I'd bet my house on it. I'm so confident in Fury beating AJ. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not just, again, I'm not just saying that because I don't like Tyson Fury. I just think AJ stands a chance. I wouldn't bet my house on it. Rex Brown, I figured they'd try a third Ruiz versus Joshua before Fury Joshua. But I'd also absolutely love to see Fury and Joshua get it on. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, who wouldn't? Yeah, Ruiz. How do you pronounce that guy's name? Ruiz. Yeah, that would be a waste of time. I mean, that's the perfect story of a heavyweight champion of the world not training properly, doesn't really give a shit. I'm just gonna show up, knock this guy out, and that'd be that. Didn't quite go that way, did it? So there'd be no point in a third fight. I know where you're coming from, though, Rex. There could have been a third fight. They could have pushed that. But I think most people would agree it would absolutely pointless. Absolutely pointless doing that. Because AJ would have just knocked the guy out, probably even sooner than what he did in the rematch. So oh, Conspiracy, who are you rooting for in the May Pack fight? May Pack? Oh, who were you? I thought I got in Doc Brown's time machine, a DeLorean for a minute. I was like, what? Are they fighting again? Who were you? Who was I rooting for? No one. No one. I would have, if Pacquiao had won that fight, I mean, yeah, it would have been great. But Mayweather, pound for pound, one of the greatest ever. You know, I wasn't rooting for anybody. I was pleased that Mayweather won. But if Pacquiao had won that fight, I would have been just as pleased for him. I was on the bench. I thought Mayweather. When it comes to who I thought would win, I thought Mayweather. But I thought Mayweather would beat Pacquiao, and he did. But I wouldn't say I was rooting for anybody. Rex Brown, 3 or 4 hours. That's about as long as it takes these boxers nowadays to get to the ring during their introduction, especially if you're Deontay Wilder. It's going to have to. It would be a long video, but so far, I mean, I'm going to go for 1 hour and 10 minutes, another 20 minutes maybe, and it's been great. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed it too, and are still enjoying it. This live stream, this impromptu live stream. Rex Brown, I was rooting for Pacquiao. That's okay. Rex Brown, Ruiz was Joshua's Buster Douglas. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas. I agree. Yep, totally. Lennox Lewis made the same mistake. I can't think of the guy's name. But Lewis made the same mistake. A lot of heavyweights have made that mistake. I think even Muhammad Ali lost to somebody. I should know who. Who was it? Was it someone he should not have lost to? And he came back and was it Leon Spinks? I think it was Leon Spinks. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty certain about this now. Muhammad Ali took on Leon Spinks. Leon Spinks won, and then Muhammad Ali won the rematch. And it was like Muhammad Ali didn't get in shape for the fight. He didn't train properly. So yeah, Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson all over again. And AJ and Ruiz, like you say. Conspiracy, they'll probably fight again. You think? I'm not too sure. But maybe. Rex Brown, you should watch the highlights on YouTube, not the Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti trilogy of fights. You will love it. Mickey Ward, yeah, yep. Oh, they had 3 fights. I mean, Gatti, that's another one, fantastic fighter. I haven't seen a lot of Gatti's fights, but what I have seen, I'm like, whoa, Conspiracy, statistically, Floyd is the greatest of all time. Yeah, we're not going to go into stats like that because that statistically, you're bringing in like not just how many fights he won, how many fights he lost. When you say the word statistically, you're talking about how many rounds it took to knock out this guy, and how many rounds it took to knock out that guy, because this guy had took on that guy and he beat that. Yeah, we could go on forever. Even if and when I do a dedicated boxing video, when it comes to that, statistically, Floyd is the greatest of all time. I can't get into that because when it comes, what was I saying earlier on? Styles make fights. Styles make fights. Look at Tommy Morrison's record. Take a look at that record. You look at Tommy Morrison's record. You would think the guy was one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, and he wasn't. Look at statistically, when it comes to boxing, especially when it comes to boxing, rather than any other sport on the face of the earth, I don't think stats mean much. They mean, of course, stats mean something. Of course, stats mean something. But styles make fights. Styles make fights. It all depends on when you take on somebody, how you take on somebody, when the fight, where the fight takes place. There's so many factors. There are so many factors to bring in when it comes to boxing that when it comes to stats, I find it very easy to push stats out of the way. Take a look at Tommy Morrison's record. Look, I'm not saying Tommy Morrison wasn't a good fighter. He was. but I would love to go back. I should do this. I should do this. This is something else I'm going to have to do before I do a dedicated boxing video on here on Movie Chat More. I'm going to have to go back and look at some of these stats, because I would guarantee, if you look at Morrison's stats, I'm not saying the guy wasn't a great fighter. He probably was. He probably was a very good fighter. He was. I've seen Morrison, not live, obviously, but yeah, I've seen Morrison fight. He was good. But I would like to say the 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 guys that Morrison did lose to are probably the bigger names, you know, the better boxers. So Morrison can knock out 40 guys in a row. I don't care, but it can't. Well, it does mean something. Of course it does. But if I was to look back at Morrison's record, and the 3, 4, 5 fights he did lose were against the likes of Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, and it's like, well, every time you took on the best, you got beat by the best. Scroll back up here. I don't want to miss any comments, questions, queries. They're all welcome. I love them. Great stream tonight, guys. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Rex Brown. It's from back in the early 2000s. The Gatti Ward fights. Yeah, I'll check them out. Rex Brown. I would be there for the entire boxing stream. That would be awesome. Thank you, Rex. I really appreciate that. Rex Brown. Hasim Rahman. Rahman. Oh, that's a good. Hasim Rahman. He was another. Rahman was the guy who beat Lewis. Yeah. Hasim Rahman. Rahman was the guy who beat Lewis. And look what happened in the rematch. Yeah. Conspiracy. Ruiz actually gave the former champion a shot at rematch. Douglas didn't. Okay. All right. I didn't know that. See, I mean, I've got a lot to learn from you guys. You know, I've got a lot to learn. We're gonna have to do this. You know, a dedicated boxing video. I didn't. Douglas didn't. So who beat Douglas? If Tyson didn't come back for the, was that when Tyson went in prison? My timeline gets messy with boxing sometimes. So who beat Buster Douglas for the title? Unless that wasn't a championship match. I think it was. I think Buster Douglas beat Tyson for the title. Who beat Buster? If it was, who beat Buster for that title? I don't remember. Rex Brown. Yes, Spinks beat Ali in the 15th round split decision. It went on that long. It went to a decision. I know in the next one, I think Ali knocked out Spinks, but wow, even a Muhammad Ali is not trained properly, goes 15 rounds. Says it all. Says it all. Rex Brown, it's crazy that Floyd's first fight was in 1996. That is crazy. I would have been 16 years old. That is crazy. First pro fight. Yep. Conspiracy traffic. I message retweet here. That's okay. Thank you, Conspiracy. David May. Yeah, I've seen David May here before. Timeout for 300 seconds. I trust you, Conspiracy. You know that. Thank you. Conspiracy Trifecta. He also beat more world champions than anyone else. Again, see, that's something else to factor in. So you can't compare Mayweather with Morrison. Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't never compare Mayweather with Morrison. No, never. But, no. But, no. It's funny to even think of doing that. I mean, some people can yeah, not me. But what you say, Conspiracy, yeah, he also beat more world champions. See, that's something else. When it comes to stats in boxing, you got to be really careful because you can work everything out. It would take you quite a while, but you could work everything out to the last finest detail. And then at the end of the day, I've said it a million times, I'm going to say it for the 2 millionth time, styles make fights. But no, I would never compare Mayweather with Morrison. Rex Brown, I believe Holyfield was the one who beat Douglas after Tyson lost to him. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Holyfield. I'm a big Holyfield fan. Holyfield was the one to beat Douglas after Tyson lost to him. Oh, so I know Holyfield. The first guy to become three-time world heavyweight champion was Muhammad Ali. I think Holyfield was the second to do it. So Holyfield it would make sense if he beat Buster Douglas. He beat, what's his name? Bowe, Big Daddy Bowe, Riddick Bowe. So Buster Douglas, Riddick Bowe, and Mike Tyson. I know Holyfield was champion of the world 3 times, so that would make sense. Yeah. So Holyfield beat Douglas, and then to become world champion for the first time, and then he defeated Riddick Bowe in the Fan Man match. You know, when the guy came, that fucking idiot came flying. You know, the Fan Man, and then he beat Tyson. Okay. David May, Ken Norton, and George Foreman were good fighters. Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, totally agree. David May on that one. Rex Brown, comparing Mayweather to Morrison is like comparing Hulk Hogan to Bushwhacker. I like that. I like that. I'm not sure if I go quite that far, but I like that. Rex Brown, oh yeah, Ken Norton was a beast. Yeah, again, Ken Norton. See, that's someone else. You know, we're going back to a different generation, and how would today's fighters fare against the guy? You know, someone like Ken Norton. My opinion is not very well. Rex Brown, I could be wrong on that one. Are you talking about I mean, it makes sense though. I mean, if you're talking about Holyfield beat Douglas for the championship, I don't know. All I know is Holyfield was heavyweight champion of the world 3 times. And I know he beat Riddick Bowe to win it. And I know he beat Mike Tyson to win it. The first one I always forget. So it could have been Buster Douglas. Yeah, Rex Brown. Oh yeah, I almost forgot all about the idiot fan, the fan man. Yeah, I almost forgot all about that idiot fan parachuting into the ring. Yeah, yeah, they had three fights, didn't they? Bo and Holyfield. It was Bo won the first one, Holyfield won the second when that happened, and Riddick Bowe won the third and final fight between the two of them. I don't think that third fight was very good. I know the first one was pretty good, and the second one was good, and we had the fan man, and I think the third one was pretty bad. But I think even in that third fight between Bowe and Holyfield, Holyfield did have Bowe down at one point. I'm pretty sad about that. David May, Leon Spinks, and Leonard Durant. Remember those fights? No, fighters. Well, yeah, Leon Spinks, Leonard Durant. Okay, I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. Just checking something, and we are good. I'm going to be leaving in about 4 or 5 minutes. Been a great stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Leonard Durant. No, I don't. Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran. Leon Spinks and Roberto Duran. No, I do. I have seen, because I was only a baby, really, when these fights took place. I may not have even been born. Roberto Duran and the Sugar Ray Leonard fights. I think they may have had a trilogy as well. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard, and I've seen those fights on YouTube, or most of those fights on YouTube between Leonard and Duran, and my fucking word, I mean, Jesus, with quality, absolute quality. David May, are you into mixed martial arts? No, I'm not. I want to be. I've tried to watch it. I want to be interested in it. I'm just not. I'm just not. It's not my thing. Rex Brown, I heard Tyson and Holyfield were trying to work out another fight in the future. Yes, you heard me right. No. I know. But let's face it, it's not going to be Holyfield versus Tyson 3. It's going to be like Roy Jones Jr. and Tyson again. It's going to be a very sad to watch, pathetic exhibition fight when no one can really win. You know? Yeah. So I don't really care what happens in that fight between the third fight between Holyfield and Tyson, because it's not a real fight. It's an exhibition. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying exhibitions are not real fights, because sometimes they are, but not when the guys are in their 50s and they're considering a league of boxers, a senior division. We're not holding a 9-iron here, guys. This isn't golf. This is boxing. You don't have a senior division in boxing where neither guy is allowed to hurt one another. You know, it's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to be on my way in a second, guys. Bobby Murray, howdy. David May, April Wine. David Mays, George St. Pierre was from Montreal. Montreal. George St. Pierre, no idea who that is. Rex Brown, was really nice stream chatting boxing and more with you guys. Truly have enjoyed it immensely. Me too, Rex, and I'm so glad you've enjoyed it, Rex. That's what counts. What you guys enjoy, and if you guys enjoy the chat, I enjoy the chat. Thank you, Rex. Okay. Yeah, there's more comments coming in, but I've got to leave now, guys. We are coming close to 2:38 a.m. here in the UK. So what's that, like 20 to 3 here in the UK? I will be back. Hopefully, the next time you see me, well, hopefully the next time you see me here on YouTube live, it won't just be me. We'll see how it goes. I think I've got a funny feeling it could be a live stream with me and someone else. See you soon, guys. Take care. Thanks again for joining the chat. Really enjoyed it. But like I say, the main thing is you guys enjoyed it. See you later. Take care.